could do some damage on the 223. Fly Racing 32nd card is about to go sideways. Got a brief glimpse of the number 23, Aaron Plessinger, who won this race last year in similar conditions. Let's go racing.
On a green again.
And they've been nailing the starts lately, and it's Austin Faulkner up front again on the 214. His starts have really improved in the second half of this championship, and he's slinging the mud, and everyone else is catching it. There's Oldenburg and Webb.
Yeah, this track has definitely dried out a lot. We saw the guys earlier, they were paddling around second session.
Oh, there's some paddling.
Yeah, it's still slick out there. These guys on these opening laps are going to have to find out where's the traction. Oldenburg trying to come back. He went around the outside. Who's going to get the drive through the whoops?
And this is what they call Godzilla. Big uphill triple all the way up into the cornfields. And Webb's going to complete the pass on Oldenburg. Oh, the tip over. A rare mistake.
He's
and
stuck.
Look, he's stuck.
His legs caught in there. He has to get off the bike to try and, get some leverage. Webb is just making life difficult on himself the last few rounds with just either first lap crashes, tip overs, bad starts.
You know, you and I were talking this week, though. Does it not always seem like when a rider has the title wrapped up and we go to the last round, that just weird stuff like that happens? And that's what we talked about at the start of this show. It kind of opens the door. Who could maybe take advantage? Right now, Faulkner.
Yeah, I think we were both talking about it, saying, hey, this is kind of my pick. This kid could go out with a bang this season. He's been showing all the little signs of just going from being good to becoming a little, like, almost great. And I think this kid is one overall victory away from being a big problem for all these riders in 2017.
Yeah, that should be job one. Put it on the dry erase board in the truck. Don't let Faulkner get a win. If he wins one of these overalls, that's the last piece of the puzzle, maybe confidence-wise. Unbelievable. Turn pro in May this year in our opening round has come so far, so fast. Won a moto at Washougal. Hasn't gotten an overall yet. How about Oldenburg, though? Not letting him off the hook. So Oldenburg running a solid second. Then it's Savachi, Cianciarulo, Alex Martin fifth, Tonis, Harrison. Dylan Wright is eighth. Good job by the Canadian. Osborne and Plessinger, that's your top 10. Webb is 19th after the tip over there on lap one. Let's send it down to Georgia with more on Faulkner.
Yes, you were just talking about the talent of that guy, and Austin Faulkner from such a young age has always had that natural talent. A lot of these guys, they either have the natural talent or they're incredibly hard workers. Austin Faulkner is one of those guys that obviously does work hard, but he has been naturally talented from such a young age, and you can tell that. He's 17 years old, and he's out here leading the last race of the season right now.
Yeah, thanks, Georgia. And what a battle behind him. Alex Martin trying to split, and he gets them both, Savachi and Cianciarulo. So that's going to move him up to third.
Yeah, at one point down that straightaway, they're almost side by side.
Cianciarulo down.
See, what's happened is they've scraped a lot of that sludge off to the side. So you're sitting with, if you look, these guys are power sliding through a lot of the turns. Both wheels are washing from underneath them. So this is a little bit uncharted territory because, like I said, the track has changed a lot. That machine's out there. Like, this part is way drier, so it's a little more predictable, but there's a lot of slop out there.
Faulkner to the corner where Webb went down, able to negotiate that pretty well. Here's the step down. Can he clear it cleanly? Whoa, there's that bounce you're talking about. Hold on to it.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting feeling bouncing the bottom of a hill sometimes. You just don't want to flatland it. Let's see if you can pull the trigger and go for it. Yes, they can. So no one able to do that on 250 in practice. We saw some 450 guys second practice. Oh, now it looks routine. I think it's one of those scenarios when the leader hucks it, everyone behind goes, well, if he can do it, I can do it. Just hold it wide open.
It's amazing how they all get the feel for it at the same time. Go around the outside the first lap and say, you know what, I think I got enough drive, and they all uncork it the next time. Look at Alex Martin in blue. Yamaloop Star Racing Yamaha. Oh, down is Aldridge on the 35. This track claiming a few more victims. That'll drop Aldridge back out of the top 20. He's now 24th after the crash. So right now, Faulkner leads. See Arnaud Tonis here in the 66. He is in 5th, right behind that battle we're watching. Right behind these guys. That's Oldenburg in the 42. Yeah, orange Troy Lee KTM. Then Martin, then Savachi, then Tonis. Oldenburg charging, hanging over the back of that bike.
Riding good right now. He's works his way in a second, sitting there, but Faulkner starting to get away. You see him disappearing in the distance. He's put a pretty good gap in a matter of not even 2 laps as we're waiting to see where is Cooper Webb. Was 19th after the mistake. We have him now in, I believe, 10th place, so Oh, you can't even see who's who. That looks
I
like
think he's the third
Plessinger.
rider. Plessinger working on Osborne, and I think right behind them is Webb. Plessinger easy to pick out. He always runs the hand guards. Yeah, and it's Webb right behind him.
Well, Plessinger, you can tell by his stature and his length when he's coming towards you that it's him.
So Webb actually good damage control here to get into 10th after that tip over. He's already made up half the spots he needs. Let's see if he can run with his teammate, although look at how muddy these guys are because they're in the middle of traffic. Webb's trying to make the pass on Plessinger.
Yeah, he's got to the inside. Will Plessinger make it hard? I think Webb's going to maybe have the drive. Sometimes these lines come together. Plessinger goes to the outside, though. Can he carry that speed and go up the hill? Look at that. Drag race.
And Osborne, I think, held up Webb a moment, and that allows Plessinger to get it back. Now Webb squares Plessinger back up. Webb's on the inside trying to get Osborne as well. Oh, this is great racing.
Well, I was going to say, with Webb making these little mistakes lately, he's made racing more entertaining for us.
It's true.
Because it's given us a little bit extra to get excited about. Look at that, squares the lines up. Webb, just the beast from the east, man. And he's riding like one right now. Wherever they go, he does it.
And Plessinger did the same thing. He made a mistake and still made the pass on Osborne. Now they're ganging up on another Star Racing Yamaha teammate, Mitch Harrison, together over the jump at the same time. Side by side by side, 3 wide, as they would say in oval track NASCAR parlance. And Webb is going to end up in front of both of them. He's passed 3 riders in about a quarter of a lap. Woo!
Yeah, he's just attacking the track harder than everyone. I think most of the other riders just being a little more cautious on these opening laps, but Webb not able to do the triple step up gives Plessinger a little bit of hope. But no, Webb, what he's doing right is he's taking the wide lines and he's just keeping that momentum up because these 250s are getting bogged down in the slop. So watch Webb, he's just trying to stay out of the deep. Well, you know, when he's going through traffic, he's having to mix his lines up. And generally speaking, a lot of the guys that are going to the inside, they're getting bogged down. Now you're starting to see Harrison and Osborne, some of these guys experiencing and trying to go to the wider lines.
Well, they learned it by watching Webb firsthand. So now they're trying to go to work on each other. Can't say that Webb, even with the title wrapped up, isn't coming out here to try to win. Great comeback, 19th to 7th in the course of about 3 laps. As Forkner continues to pull away, he has a 6-second gap. Trying to win his first moto is Forkner, ahead of Oldenburg, who's still second. Then it's Martin, Savacci, Tonis, Cianciarulo. Here is Forkner continuing to pull away, and you can see it's a dramatic difference how clean he and his motorcycle are compared to the riders in back.
Wow, got cross-rutted there.
Way
Good spot.
off the track.
That could have gotten ugly, but corrected it. But did you hear how his bike was lugging coming out of that corner? That's a smart rider. Going a gear taller. Your wheel's spinning everywhere on this track. Going a gear taller and lug the engine, you're less likely to make mistakes, and you're actually going to get more power to the ground.
We're going to show you Forkner trying to hang on as he has the lead, but no leader safe on a muddy track like this.
Yeah, watch his feet. Almost get pulled off.
That's not a scrub. That's not a whip. That's just a save. Saving the lead. This is Short Course, the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series. Watch it tomorrow, 2 Eastern and Pacific on MAV TV, Motorsports Network. Yeah, we're slinging dirt, 4 wheels or 2 here on MAV TV. Austin Forkner just rode by. The 214 has been out front this entire race, continues to pull away. Some mistakes, some spectacular moves, all blended into a 13-second gap. Really impressive for the kid, who, if he gets the win today, even in just this moto, let alone the overall, really serves notice in contender for next year. Now we have a battle for second. We're going to show you 2 riders who are not strangers to each other this year. Alex Martin and Joey Savacci have had some torrid fights throughout the year, and here we are, last race of the year, they're battling again.
Well, for Savacci, I think for him, he needs to end the weekend off with a great result. I can tell it's been frustrating for him, for the team. Just the wheels started coming off. Oh, mistake from Martin. Opens the door for Savacci. Now it's going to be the drag race. Who's going to bounce the least and get the drive down the hill? Martin's still there, not giving up. But Savacci able to clear him.
Now to the top of this triple step up. Let's see if they both hit it. No, Martin doesn't. Savacci does. So Martin got around Savacci about 3 laps ago. Savacci hung with him, found the opening, and has taken advantage. So yeah, a little bit racier Savacci here than the last few races, although it's the second motos that have really been a problem as of late. Didn't even finish the second motos of the last 2 races. Then you got Oldenburg and Tonis.
Yeah, just these guys just single filing out a little bit. A lot of times you just cannot be behind someone for a whole moto because you'll run out of tear-offs or even roll-offs. So a lot of times when the guys are like, oh wait, I'm running out, you almost have to have a gap. Oh, goggle change.
That's one of the Rockstar Husky riders.
It looked like Davalos.
So, yeah, that was Davalos. Osborne, though, has dropped back to 13th. With a good start. Wow, wheel spin there for Savacci.
I think he just had the clutch in and was getting ready to release it, but the bike stood up in the rut. So then he just didn't release it. So he just had the throttle and the clutch in, just didn't get the clutch out.
I heard it. You saw it.
Yeah.
We're keeping track on Webb, who's starting to close in on the next group of riders in front of him. He is 7th, but the top 6 are now within sight. First would be Cianciarulo, then Tonis, 6th and 5th. Laying into that corner, beautiful. Everyone else, a little bit sloppy in sections here and there. He has been pretty solid, besides one big mistake early in this one. So one thing we've seen from Webb this year, we've thrown all sorts of conditions at him. Sand track at Southwick, won that one. Muddy race today, no problems with any of it.
Yeah, he battling to even see him correctly, but see that front mud guard slapping a little bit. That's usually just a build-up of mud. And sometimes when they get enough, they can actually crack, you know, where the mount bolts go, and then you'll see a little bit extra flapping around. George, you got anything more for us on that?
Yes, now it has been insane with the riders coming in and out of the mechanics area and changing goggles. We've had Martin Davalos, Marshall Welton, Chris Aldridge, who had a crash in the first lap. He came in and got new goggles. But what was incredibly interesting to see was at the Fram mechanics area, Aaron Plessinger passed through. As he's riding, he ripped off his chest protector. Now, I imagine that's for not only just heat, but also the weight of the mud that is hanging onto that, because once it sticks, it just stays. And that's also why we'll see some of the guys running foam on the top of their helmet to let the mud bounce off when it does get roosted onto them.
Well, interesting point there, and just to add to what George is saying, yeah, that's probably exactly what happens, Passenger. The chest protector gets packed with mud, and as you're riding, it starts bouncing around. It feels like you're wearing like a backwards turtle shell, and you know, get rid of it. The rocks aren't that bad because it's more of a sloppy mud roost. So I don't think, put it this way, it's not Unadilla. You don't really need a chest protector.
Webb's going to take on some roost here, though, because he has caught Tonis and Cianciarulo in the battle for 5th, 6th, and now 7th. Plessinger is still in 8th, despite the very quick pit stop, but he's 14 seconds behind Webb. And you remember they were battling earlier in the moto. Then behind him is Harrison and Jordan Smith, rounding out the top 10. So a little battle coming together here, Webb and Cianciarulo, and this is the opportunity a couple of these riders have. We were wondering if someone could take advantage final round to get that confidence builder. Cianciarulo would love to get a moto win. Tonis, who's right in front of him, would. Savacci needs a good race, but right now it's Austin Fork. They're up front taking advantage, and we'll keep tuned into this race halfway through. And halfway to go, 15 minutes can save you 15% or more from Geico. In 15 minutes, we'll have a checkered flag in this one. And they're not too far behind Oldenburg on the 42. So you got 4 riders, and Oldenburg's not too far behind Martin.
Yeah, he's right there now, actually. So, and then Savacci's just ahead of them. So really the only one that's gotten away is Faulkner, still clicking off some good lap times. He's been about, on average, a second or 2 quicker than everyone every lap. So this kid really just putting together a masterpiece of a race. Cross flag showing that tells these guys that you're halfway through the moto, even though their pit boards have probably already let them know. But I got a feeling this battle's far from done. Oldenburg's coming back a little bit on Martin, and he's pulling, you know, the Kawasaki guys as well. And then right behind them, obviously, we've got Webb, so got that accordion fix starting to go down.
And Webb in 7th is only about 6 seconds behind the 3rd place rider, Alex Martin. Now, it's going to be hard to make passes on this track, especially dealing with the roost. But track position-wise, he's close enough to maybe pull this off and get up on the podium as we go past Fram Mechanics area.
Well, exactly. Like you said, if you're going fast enough, there's enough time to get up to these guys. I think the hardest part, like you were saying, is he's going to have to try and execute passes as quickly as possible. I saw him pulling tear-offs. So he's not running roll-offs, which I would have to imagine that there's not a ton of tear-offs on those goggles of Webb's after coming through the pack.
Yeah, you can usually put, what, about 20 to 30, pretty much a max.
Well, nowadays they use laminates, which usually have about 7 together, so you put on 3 stacks, so you get like 21. If you go more than that, you start, you know, the vision becomes very foggy because of all the clear plastic.
Seeing Cerullo on the 44 getting over the uphill triple. Webb not able to do it. Then Webb a little bobble out of the corner and try to reset himself and go back after the 44. That's again 6th and 7th with Tonus in front of them. Talk about riders with things to gain. Tonus, I don't believe he has a ride with anyone locked in next year. The Swiss native who's had his trouble 2 years in the United States dealing with some illness. So there he is, trying to finish this season off with a top 5 in this moto and advertise himself for next year. You never know how things are going to change. Last year, or last week, Zach Osborne had a 4th in the first moto and won the overall. It was a big one for Zach. Let's go racing. Zach Osborne now, you see him just on the right of your screen. He's trying to challenge Taft. Here they are side by side over this jump. Oh, getting down to the inside.
Osborne's on the outside. Taft pushes him. Smart move. But now Osborne squares it up.
Then he hand over to Savacci, and then Taft bobbles. And for the first time in his career, Zach Osborne has won an overall in professional motocross in the United States. St. Your Papa's tractor, it's full throttle action, shields down. The Lucas Oil Pro Pulling League traveling the tracks all over the country, including not too far away. We're in Terre Haute, and this is cool to actually have the Pro Pulling League pretty close to us with Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. You can, Don Slama taking the win there. Yeah, that's not your Papa's tractor. You'll catch it all Sunday 4 Eastern and Pacific, only on MAV TV Motorsports Network. That's the Lucas Oil Pro Pulling League. And I'll tell you, you got a green motorcycle here. Kind of resembles some of the tractors out here. And the way these guys are bogged down into some of the mud, even the action looks somewhat similar. It has been a load on these 250Fs to pull through some very wet conditions. But now the sun's starting to come out. Track's getting quicker. And Austin Faulkner motoring away to what could be his first moto win here in Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. Look at the lead.
Yeah, I mean, basically at this point, he could tone it down and lose a couple seconds a lap and still have this motor under control. Wow, that's a big gap. So for a rookie to keep seeing his pit board and watching that gap grow lap after lap after lap, that's a huge confidence builder. For Savacci, this is also a confidence builder. I think he's had his confidence thrown in the trash as of late. So, I'll say it again, second to first motor is as good as a win as far as the overall goes.
And that's why the third place rider, you see him back there at times, Alex Martin, you can see he is still charging. He knows he can get Savacci for this position. It could potentially change the entire weekend. And Savacci and Martin, as we talked about at the beginning of the show, have had some great battles all year long. We could still have another one in store. Second and third not too far apart. As we're into the stretch run of this first moto, Savacci off the back fender, leaping his way to the top.
Stretching it out. See these guys as they're going up, they start getting their weight back, and then they almost pull like a ski jumper would. A little fishtail going with the jump, corrected it by dabbing the brake, pulling the clutch, straighten the bike out.
There's a lot to do in one little section there.
Yeah.
A lot of the checklist for Savacci to keep the bike where he wants it.
Well, guys that race can relate to how tough riding is, and then you add this into it. It's extremely tough. I mean, these guys are doing so many things at the same time. And then the other problem is with mud riding is you start thinking, okay, I found the fast line. Well, guess what? When 30 other guys are hammering it, it becomes the slow line in a matter of laps because it's beat up. So then you have to change your line again. Look at this battle.
You got Martin, you have Oldenburg, Tonus, and Webb has gotten around and seen Cerullo and is trying to make the moves on them. So Webb still has a shot at it. Just as quickly as the third place Martin got close to Savacci, he must have bobbled. And he's back into this battle, a four-way fight. So you have Martin and Webb who've had great seasons. They are first and second in points. They've both been named to Team USA, the Motocross of Nations. That's the big international team competition that'll take place in about a month's time. But then you have Oldenburg, who I believe will probably end up back on that Troy Lee Designs KTM team next year, but he's still trying to make a name for himself. He would love to have a solid finish like this. And Tonus, who's still searching for a ride next year, he wants it badly too. So a couple of different scenarios all at once here.
That's what we always say. Everyone's got their own agenda out there. Webb just wants to go and just leave this class as the guy, leave it with a win. Like you said, Tonus, he's trying to find a ride, so he's riding for his life. Oldenburg wants to be back where he's at. He needs a good ride. Oh, look at their lines came together.
They collide.
And Oldenburg almost go down. That's an opening Webb may have needed. I think he's got Tonus up the inside. No, yes, he got Oldenburg as well.
Oh, Webb says, thanks, boys. They bump each other, and he does the bump and the run. So now Webb up to 4th, and he's got a shot again at a podium in this moto. Got to try to go after his teammate, Alex Martin. At Tonus and Oldenburg battle got too hot. Tonus now has made the move on Oldenburg to 66 ahead of the 42. That puts Tonus into 5th.
Yeah, good ride for Tonus. He needs this. He needs a good solid top 5. I'm not sure if he'll be able to move forward anymore. Just because it seems like the riders in front of him might be a slightly quicker pace. But it's still going to have 5 minutes. And with this track, we've seen he can lose a chunk of time in one section.
Go back to Oldenburg here. He's now pushed to 6th, and behind him, he's got CNC Rullo, then Plessinger, Smith, who's made the move for 9th around Harrison. Osborne is 11th. Looked like that was Josh Osby, I think, down and now getting back up. He was down to that motorcycle superstore Suzuki. Tonus came over with some great credentials, was a contender for Grand Prix wins in the MX2 class in Europe. Mitch Payton signed him up, but missed almost all of last year with Epstein-Barr. They got hurt this year in Supercross. Just now, it looks like Tonus starting to build some strength, build some speed again. Hoping to take advantage here at the end of the year and show what he can do in 2017. Right now, Austin Faulkner serving notice. Watch out for this guy next season. Battle for 3rd between the teammates. Yamaluke Star Racing Yamaha riders Alex Martin of the 26 and Cooper Webb from 19th to 4th on a track that's pretty muddy. Supposed to be hard to do, but he's made the impossible look routine this year time and time again. This would be big if he could get 3rd and get himself back in contention for the overall. And with the championship gone, I think he wouldn't have to try so hard today. But we had a chance to talk to him yesterday about where his motivation comes from.
I have a huge heart, and I think that's what really drives me to do what I do. You know, obviously I love winning, and that's what motivates me. But you know, I feel like I have a heart of a lion, and you know, whatever the circumstances are, wherever I am on the track, you know, I feel like I'm just never going to give up, and I'm going to push myself to, you know, either win or learn is the way we look at it.
Yeah, and he's a man of his word here because of the title wrapped up, mud, falling down early. He could have taken a 10th in this moto, no problem.
Yeah.
Nope, not settling.
Well, what do you say? You're either winning or learning?
Yes.
Either way, this has been a winner-type performance in this moto, but basically you could say he's spent 30 minutes learning right now. He learned what not to do in the first lap. He learned where to pass.
Yeah.
He learned how many tear-offs you can go through in one moto.
Okay.
And know that you're okay. A lot of learning. Smart kid.
I think that's actually one of the trademarks for Webb. He's so brash and outspoken that I think it misleads people into thinking, you know, on the track he's just a reckless, wild kind of guy, but he's actually one of the most calculated riders out there. We've talked about this season how he usually starts the moto pretty good and then gets faster as the moto goes on. Even throughout his amateur career, people talk about how he would learn every moto. Some of those amateur events are week-long events, and he would get significantly better toward the end of the week from what was at the beginning of the week. And even the way he's built his career as a pro, he came out pretty good when it started. He got 5th in his first ever moto, and that's good. Started out pretty good in Supercross, but he has gone from good to great just incrementally every week, every year, getting better and better.
Well, I had the luxury of being able to work with him for a little while with the Red Bull Jams program, doing some riding coaching. And I tell you what, I was really impressed with this kid. He was standing next to me when we walked the track, glued to my hip. And you could just tell him soaking in everything I said, and he would ask questions, and you could just tell he wanted knowledge. He wanted to know anything that you could share with him that could help him. You know, what was your experience? You know, what don't you do? Anything else? And you love a kid like that that's so enthusiastic, and you know, it makes sense. You've got to want it. You can't rely on talent. You've got to really want it at this level. And that's the thing that strikes me about Webb is he hates losing, and I think that's his motivation to win. And he said it. He's got the heart of a lion. So if you're going to self-proclaim that, you got to live up to it, and he has.
Yeah, you really can't argue it. The way he's won this title this year, the way he's still charging even with the title in hand, battling it out now with Martin for 3rd. Faulkner's gone. He's got a 23-second lead over second place Savacci. So it's Faulkner's moto if he can hold on to it. Martin almost throws it away, doesn't hold on to it under that covered bridge, and that allows Webb to close back up.
Yeah, I think Webb was trying to get out of that rut to stay out of the roost. Let's see if he's able to pull off any more tear-offs, or if he's at that point where he's ran out. Oh, you see, that was the wipe.
Yep.
So, yeah, Vision is... He learned. He needs more tear-offs if you're going to fall over on the first lap.
Yeah, so he took the glove and wiped the lens because he's out of tear-off. So he's going to have to find a huge opening to get around Martin. And you see him trying to use the inside, so he doesn't get the roost. Oh, and he tried. It didn't work.
You know what he was doing there? He was going for it. He was committed to making that pass and figured, I've got to get around. But that's Cooper Webb going for it. Oh, no, I think he's going to rip those goggles off. There they go.
Yeah, and he's got Tonus now right behind him, so he's got to get back up to speed. Tonus will try to put him one position down. Show it to you again.
Yeah, he's just committed. Martin taking probably the smoother, more accurate line, and Webb goes. I think he was going to jump through that corner and go to the exit and take the line away. Because he comes in this dip. Everyone here breaks. Webb goes, up, but just a little off balance. And you see Martin has a look over his shoulder, probably going, phew, thank goodness.
Yeah, he was dealing with a tremendous amount of pressure. So now here we go with about a lap and a half to go. Austin Forkner looking for his second career moto win. And when he got that moto win at Washougal, he finished 10th in the first moto, so he had no chance to win the overall. He holds on and wins this one. It's been the first time that he's really gone into a second moto with the overall win potentially hanging in the balance.
Yeah, he's had these dismal first moto results, usually from a bad start or something like that. And like I said, it's put him out of overall contention. But some of his second motos have been outstanding. Well, his first moto was outstanding. So it's today the day that the young phenom can put two solid motos together. This would be huge for him, for his career, for his confidence. And I think for Mitch Payton, he needs a little silver lining to end the season. I know there's been some frustrations where they've had a lot of good riders, a lot of guys up front, a lot of opportunity, but when you actually go and look at how many wins and the fact that Savachi was out of the title contention a couple of rounds ago, you know, it kind of seemed like the wheels started coming up for that team. But something like this is going to be great for someone like Mitch Payton. Also, not to mention, he knows this kid's going to be with me for many years to come.
Oh, yeah.
So this is awesome. He's not leaving to move on to another team next year.
No, we're just getting started with Forkner. He could be in this class potentially 2-3 more years. Had a chance to talk to Robbie Raynard, who's the rider or the riding coach for Forkner during the week back in Oklahoma. And I said, what's it like to try to discipline, you know, a 17-year-old? And he said it's actually the opposite of discipline. Raynard said one of the main things I try to teach Austin is get off the motorcycle, go ride your scooter, go ride your BMX bike, get on a skateboard, have fun with it. Don't take it too seriously.
Don't burn yourself out.
Yeah, don't burn yourself out. And that shows a lot that a 17-year-old is that dedicated where he could work 24/7 on it unless someone tells him to take a break. Georgie, you're down there with those guys during the week. What do you see?
As Austin Forkner, he is definitely dedicated, but he is still a teenager. He loves his Snapchat and his Instagram, his social media. But you're right, he loves going to the skate park. He loves riding his scooter and his BMX bike. He's one of those kids that's naturally talented at all sports, which is incredibly depressing for other people when they're with him. But yeah, skate park in the afternoon, riding in the morning, and that guy does not get tired.
Yeah, Raynard said, he says, well, you know, when you're doing this professionally, you live and die by it, and you got to try not to live and die by the results. Don't carry the result into the week and let it ruin everything. Still try to have fun. And this result he probably would like to carry into the week if you take a moto win. But you got to be able to ride out through the ups and downs, and I think that's what's impressed everyone about Forkner. We all know that he's got tremendous talent. That was already proven in the amateur ranks, but he's been so mature about dealing with whatever's been thrown his way this year, not getting too high, not getting too low. A lot of times you see these rookies come out in the first race or two and they're just on fire and then they fade. No, he's had a steady build.
Yeah, I think it's almost like they put so much emphasis on their first race. It's on their calendar for like a year.
Yes.
That they come, and it's almost like the minute they get the first race out of the way, it's like, oh, now what? What's our plan? What's our strategy?
Yep.
You know, there's 11 more of these. Like what I liked was, I think it was smart maybe keeping him out of Supercross. That prevented him coming into the season injured. Like you said, he came in fast, but not over the top, not crashing everywhere. But he was just slowly climbing up the leaderboard. And it was like one of those things where we kept saying, it's not if, it's just a matter of when. And even if it's not today for the overall, it's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a tough customer for everyone to deal with into the future. That could be as soon as next year. People that have seen him ride a Supercross track know he's pretty darn good at that too, like Georgia said. Doesn't pretty much matter. Put a tennis racket probably in his hand, he'd be pretty good at that. Checkered flag is en route for the 214 of Austin Forkner, a 22-second lead over Salvacci. Martin has settled down into third as Webb has had that second crash of the moto. He is back to fourth. Tone is fifth. Cincerillo, Oldenburg, Plessinger, Smith, Harrison, your top 10. In the waning moments of the first moto here in Indiana, be a little piece of history here if Forkner can hold on and turn this first moto win into a potential overall later in the day. These fans are going to remember this one for a long time. Checkered flag is out. Austin Forkner takes Moto 1 here in Indy. Building